What if Stephen Curry, the man who revolutionized the game, simply never existed? No record-breaking three-point shots, no baby-faced assassin dominating the league, no Warriors dynasty as we know it. Now hold on to your seats because this alternate reality is about to get wild. In this video, we're going to break down how the absence of Steph Curry would have reshaped the legacies of LeBron James, Kevin Durant, James Harden, and so many more. We'll also explore how the game itself might have evolved differently. So let's jump right in. Steph Curry is more than just a player, he's a revolution all in himself. Before Curry, the three-point shot was an accessory, a tool for only specialists. But Curry turned it into a weapon. His ability to pull up from anywhere on the court and hit shots with unerring accuracy changed the NBA's landscape forever. Without Curry, the three-point explosion might never have happened. Players like Damian Lillard and James Harden likely wouldn't have been encouraged to take and make shots from well beyond the arc. Even team strategies would be vastly different, with less emphasis on spacing and perimeter shooting. But let's take a step back from the tactical changes for a moment and ask, who benefits if Curry's impact disappears? LeBron James is the first name that comes to mind. Curry and the Warriors were LeBron's greatest obstacles. Without Curry, does LeBron walk away with more rings? The answer is almost certainly yes. Let's start with 2015. The Cavaliers, without an injured Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving, pushed the Warriors to 6 games. Take away Curry, and that series likely goes to LeBron. That's one more ring already. Then there's 2016. While that championship is arguably the most iconic of LeBron's career, coming back from 3-1 against a 73-9 team, it might not even need to happen if the Warriors weren't the juggernaut they became because of Curry. If we follow this logic, LeBron could have 6, maybe even 7 championships by now. Without Curry, LeBron's case as the undeniable GOAT becomes much stronger. But LeBron isn't the only one whose legacy changes. Let's talk about Kevin Durant. Curry's presence and the Warriors' dominance pushed KD to leave OKC and join Golden State. Without Curry, Durant might never have left the Thunder. Imagine Durant staying in OKC with Russell Westbrook and potentially James Harden if the team's roster decisions had gone differently. The Thunder had a legitimate chance to dominate the Western Conference for the foreseeable future. In this alternate reality, Durant becomes the unquestioned leader of a championship team, avoiding the snake label that has followed him since his move to Golden State. We might be talking about Durant as one of the most loyal and respected players in NBA history, with multiple rings to his name. That's a crazy thing to think about. James Harden and Chris Paul are two players who benefit immensely from a Curry-less NBA. The 2018 Rockets came tantalizingly close to dethroning the Warriors, falling in Game 7 of the Western Conference Finals. Without Curry, that Rockets team likely wins the title. For Harden, a championship cements his legacy as one of the greatest offensive players ever. And for Chris Paul, it erases the narrative that he couldn't win the big one. Then there's Russell Westbrook. If Durant stays in OKC, Westbrook's career takes a completely different trajectory. Instead of being viewed as a stats-driven player who couldn't win, Westbrook might be a finals MVP with a ring or 2. Steph Curry's absence also shifts the spotlight onto other players. Damian Lillard, for instance, becomes the league's premier deep shooter. His range and clutch performances put him in a category all by himself. And what about Klay Thompson? Without Curry, Klay might be viewed as the greatest shooter of all time. His incredible shooting performances often take a backseat to Curry's, but in a world without Steph, Klay becomes the face of the Warriors and the NBA's undisputed best marksman. Not to mention Draymond Green, who might not become a future Hall of Famer without Steph alongside him. Even someone like Monta Ellis, who was traded to make room for Curry, has a more significant role when looking back. Ellis could have been the star guard for Golden State for many years, leading them to a different, perhaps less successful height. Finally, let's talk about the game itself. Without Curry, does the three-point revolution even happen? Probably not to the same extent. Teams would still prioritize big man and mid-range play over perimeter shooting. Players like Dirk Nowitzki, Kevin Garnett, and Tim Duncan might have had even longer lasting impacts on the game. And the league style might look more like it did in the early 2000s, slower, more physical, and less reliant on analytics-driven spacing. What we know is Steph Curry's impact on the NBA is immeasurable. His presence shaped the game, the players, and even the legacies of his competitors. Without him, the NBA is a vastly different landscape, one that's fascinating to imagine, but hard to fully embrace. So, what do you guys think? Who benefits the most from a Curry-less NBA? And how do you think the game would have evolved without him? Let me know in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more upcoming videos and NBA content. My name is Damian Peters. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.